used to sort of challenge actually all them after round.
Oh my goodness!
Really good technical performance by Edwards.
Although Leon Edwards has showcased his impressive skill set by taking on several top fighters, he remains a polarizing figure in the MMA world. Despite securing a record-breaking knockout victory in just 8 seconds in Asia,
He's down, stay away!
he is most remembered for the punch he received from Nate Diaz. Despite an impressive 9-fight winning streak and only losing to the current champion in the past 7 years, he has yet to gain the level of notoriety that his talent deserves. Let's take a closer look at the fascinating journey of this Jamaican-born fighter, who started off fighting on the streets and went on to become a title contender in the main event of a prestigious tournament. Get ready to explore his inspiring career in this video. Fasten your seatbelts and let's dive right in.
With that big straight right lock, he's given. Oh! Nice ducking low. Nice move.
Background: Leon Edwards spent his childhood in Kingston, Jamaica with his family, including his father, who was a local authority figure. However, after moving to London at the age of 4, they experienced the street problems of the city. When Edwards was 14, his father was tragically shot in a nightclub in Aston, where they had moved to after purchasing a small house near Birmingham. This event changed his life and became involved in criminal activity, leading to numerous arrests and fights. During this time, he was given the nickname Rocky. Despite his past, he strives to live each day in a positive manner. Following his father's death, Leon Edwards' family relocated to Erdington, a Birmingham suburb where he began MMA training at 17. Edwards' mother encouraged him to take up the sport to avoid street fights. However, he couldn't afford the training fees and opted to become a coach for children's groups to cover the expenses. MMA career. This move helped Edwards pursue a professional career, which he began at 19 with a contract with a local organization called Fight UK. He demonstrated his clinching and wrestling defense skills in 3 fights over 8 months, finishing his first fight with a knee strike and a flurry of strikes on the ground. After experiencing a setback against Donald Cerrone early in his career, Leon Edwards found success in BAMMA, the second most popular MMA promotion in England. He had the chance to fight in his hometown of Birmingham and faced Jonathan Bilton, who quickly found himself outmatched by Edwards' speed, creativity, and power.
Reaction here, and a nice turn on that knee, and then the fast hands, and suddenly Bill's in trouble as those knees and punches in bunches come through.
Edwards secured a technical knockout victory in the second round, cementing his dominance in the fight.
And the referee's going to stop this. He's seen enough.
Leon Edwards delivered an impressive performance against Wendell Lewis, demonstrating a combination of aggression and boxer's aesthetic.
He's done it again, Frank. Suddenly he's exploded here, and the Rocky, he's living up.
He launched a sustained attack at the fence that resulted in a knockout in just 20 seconds.
He has tic-tac the flying knee there.
And it lands. They're blocking, but
making it challenging for the fight to be stopped.
he's sliding in. There it is.
Up next, Leon Edwards faced veteran Wayne Murray, who had 18 wins and 5 losses. After catching him with a knee, Edwards was initially trapped against the fence for over a minute. However, once he activated his athleticism, he quickly took control of the fight.
Tenacity of the champion, Wayne Murray.
Tormented Murray for a few minutes,
Looks for the takedown.
and eventually secured a chokehold to win the championship belt.
Oh my goodness, that was a shot.
3 earlier finishes had earned Edwards the BAMMA welterweight championship. Leon Edwards defended his championship title against Scottish fighter Sean Taylor, who pressed forward despite taking massive damage.
A nice move.
In the second round, the referee had to intervene and stop the fight.
She slips again.
Oh, Taylor.
Big punch, knockout power.
Oh, that left hook again, and he grimaces Taylor this time.
This fight's probably
Giving the win to Edwards via TKO. Edwards was released from his contract and signed with the UFC soon after, where he had his first fight in the new organization. UFC career. The debut of the 23-year-old Briton in the UFC took place in Brazil in November 2014 against a local guy, Claudio Silva, who was on a 10-win streak. Silva executed a takedown, but Edwards defended well against most takedown attempts.
Takedown by.
Oh, a couple big elbows there by Edwards.
Silva was productive from the top.
Guys, get that takedown.
And 2 judges awarded him the victory.
Silva!
Despite a rocky start in the league, Leon Edwards quickly smoothed things over with his second appearance in the octagon. When veteran Seth Baczynski aggressively went for a front kick, Edwards skillfully intercepted it with a counterattack and won the fight via TKO. Leon Edwards faced Kamaru Usman in a tournament in the US, where he struggled against the physically strong wrestler. Although he managed to throw combinations and escape sometimes, he couldn't avoid the takedowns, which were 6 of them, in total over 11 minutes of control.
And you know, Edwards looking very good here. Let's see if he can get it. He gets it this time.
In the end, Leon lost the fight by unanimous decision.
Grabs. Usman. Syrian Nightmare!
Leon Edwards trained at the American Kickboxing Academy for 15 years to improve his wrestling and clinching. This training helped him after his loss to Usman. In his fight against Dominic Waters, Edwards demonstrated his progress by executing takedowns
Edwards here now, look at this!
and dominating his opponent in both striking and ground game.
Was allowing him. Maybe Waters landed something as well. Now Edwards with a knee.
Leon Edwards, who had traveled to 6 different countries for his UFC fights, faced 14th-ranked Albert Tumanov in England in October 2016. Edwards surprised everyone by relying on his wrestling skills and dominated Tumanov in the first round. Tumanov tried to strike back in the second round but failed.
Round 2. Oh! Body had the uppercut. Edwards thought that Tumanov struggles against South.
In the final stretch, he caught Edwards' leg and earned a takedown.
Good finish there.
Edwards then secured a rear naked choke, and Tumanov surrendered, giving Edwards the victory via rear naked choke.
It is all over! Leon Edwards by submission!
After this victory, Edwards didn't make it into the rankings, so he faced fasten Luke, a highly regarded Brazilian prospect, after his win against Tumanov. Edwards used a wrestling strategy that led to his being controlled by Luke in the first round.
Leon Edwards is cooler than the...
Although Luke pushed the pace in the second,
Oh!
Edwards managed to control the stand-up in the final round.
Big left hook, big right hook, beautiful work.
Edwards getting
his shots.
It looks attractive. There you go again.
And he won by unanimous decision.
Whoa!
Leon Edwards requested a top 15 opponent after his victory against Luke, but instead was given unranked Bryan Barberena. Edwards won the first round with choke attempts and almost finished the fight with a takedown in the third round. Barberena nearly ended Edwards' career with a blow in the second round.
Oh! Oh! Barberena landed shots!
But in the end, Edwards won via unanimous decision. With 4 wins under his belt, Edwards climbed to the 15th spot in the rankings, but faced a relatively unknown opponent in Peter Sobotta. He defeated Sobotta via TKO in the second round after showcasing his striking and ground skills.
Oh, I think the fight was cool.
Edwards called out Donald Cerrone after the fight.
I heard you want to fight in Liverpool, let's go!
In June 2018, Edwards finally received the recognition and attention of the matchmaker, as he headlined a tournament in Singapore alongside Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone, who was ranked 11th in the ratings and had silenced his critics with the recent destruction of Yancy Medeiros in the first 2 rounds. Edwards showcased his quick kicks, and although he was looking for close-range entry, he repeatedly ran into hard strikes from the clinch by Cerrone.
Oh, again!
Cerrone landed a high kick on the break, and Edwards complained to the referee that his opponent had grabbed his glove, and the replay confirmed the validity of these claims. In the third 5-minute round, Edwards became furious and launched several left attacks, but Cowboy responded with aggressive combinations.
Switching up his stances.
Hands wide. Nice.
He pushed forward and increasingly tried to bring the fight to the ground, but these attempts were easily read, and the Briton cautiously and without unnecessary risk worked on the back foot for the remaining minutes. Despite several takedown attempts, Edwards was able to successfully defend and use his size advantage to win the championship rounds, much to the delight of the audience. After being ignored by Masvidal, Edwards received a challenge from Gunnar Nelson, ranked 3 spots below him. The Briton won the fight via unanimous decision, extending his successful streak to 7 fights. In the first round, both fighters were active in wrestling, with Edwards even spending some time behind Nelson's back. In the second round, he caught Nelson at the entrance to the clinch, interrupting the chess game.
Look at this pivot on the lead leg. Beautiful work.
Despite surviving until the bell, Nelson was surprised by a takedown in the final segment, leaving him hanging on until the end of the fight.
That would be insane if he could pull it off.
2 judges gave the victory to Edwards. Edwards got a chance to fight former champion Rafael dos Anjos, which was only his second fight in America. Edwards applied constant pressure and mercilessly broke down his more experienced opponent, defeating him by choking out Kevin Lee.
Sancho's got to be mindful of those Edwards elbows.
Because what Edwards is doing, the reason you're seeing so many clinches.
He won almost all sizes and worked on the lead, leaving a significant advantage in significant hits. Edwards won almost all the rounds, but in the final round, dos Anjos managed to win.
A shot there. Recap of all the action from San Antonio on the UFC 10 seconds. Big knee from dos Anjos.
Edwards has an 8-fight win streak and challenged George Masvidal to a fight, but he responded in his own style. "You're not on my level." A few months later, Leon Edwards faced off against Nate Diaz in a historic non-title, non-main event fight. For Edwards, this fight seemed like a surefire win that would increase his popularity and earning potential. However, the opposite proved true, and Nate dominated in a way that everyone will remember.
Gamesmanship from Nate Diaz early, and then he flurries. He caused almost a little divot in that leg of Nate Diaz.
By the end of the second round, he had changed tactics and began initiating more close-range exchanges. However, he still took significant hits from the sharper Edwards.
Nice connection there.
That is unorthodox.
Throughout the fight, Edwards punished Diaz for his mistakes and utilized a variety of techniques, including low kicks and elbows in ground-and-pound situations. Diaz landed some shots towards the end.
Who was a two-time, two-division world champion.
But Edwards ultimately won by decision. Despite this, the crowd celebrated both fighters, and the decision didn't seem to matter to anyone. Leon Edwards had to face several setbacks before getting his chance to fight for the UFC welterweight championship. After the cancellation of his fight with Masvidal, he waited for 7 months to earn his contender status by defeating his opponents. Meanwhile, Kamaru Usman was aiming to match Anderson Silva's winning streak with his 16th straight win. In the championship fight, Edwards defeated Usman via knockout in the 5th round, winning the UFC welterweight championship and earning the Performance of the Night award. A third fight between Edwards and Usman is set to take place on March 18, 2023, where Edwards will defend his title. If you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe to the channel for more MMA-related videos.
In there. And I'm reaching back, pulling at the arms. But this is still tight. This is tight. He can't have it.
Leon Edwards by submission.